there, my name is Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So, it's kind of clear to me that the entertainment industry, that Hollywood hates us, hates the audience intently, and I think most of the industry does hate us because we're not consuming the way they told us to. But before we get into that, the meat of this video, if you like Doctor Who, this was a video about Star Wars, but George Lucas liked Doctor Who. In fact, I remember, when was it? Oh my god, it must have been maybe even before the Paul McGann movie, so like the early 90s. And this used to be this like kind of smallish fanzine called DWB, Doctor Who Bulletin, that hated John Nathan Turner, the then producer of Doctor Who, up until the last producer, up until the 80s, the end of the 80s. They just hated, had like a campaign of just sheer hatred towards him, which, you can kind of hear. But they, after it went off the air, they had, George Lucas wrote an article in DWB. DWB went on to become Dreamwatch Bulletin and it became like a real magazine for a while. It was a really good one until it got bought by, I think, Titan Books, and they just ran it into the ground. It was awful. But he wrote this really good article about Doctor Who, about how the BBC had destroyed it. It called The Deadly Assassins, which is a title of a particularly good Doctor Who story, but it's showing his Doctor Who knowledge. So anyway, George Lucas liked Doctor Who. You should like Doctor Who. I'm giving away Doctor Who. Why am I rambling about Doctor Who? Because I'm giving away Doctor Who. You can win this Doctor Who DVD set, the E-Space Trilogy, 3 stories from 1981, Full Circle, Third of Decay, and Warriors Gate. Warriors Gate is good, but it's a really weird one. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe is the important bit, and leave the hashtag Marshmen. Marshmen, they were the monsters from that first episode, their first story. And we give it away, we announce the winner on Sundays after Doctor Who has aired in the UK on the TardisZone. That's about an hour or two after Doctor Who is in it. So like about 9 o'clock UK time. Check your calendars to work out what time that will be wherever you are. So this video is nothing about Doctor Who, but instead it is about Star Wars, and it's actually about I would say Hollywood and how much Hollywood hates us. And I'm going to let you again. It's very clear Hollywood has nothing but disdain and hatred for us, the audience, because we just don't vote the way they want us to on whatever subject they may want to, they think is important, and so now they call us Nazis and racists. But here I'm going to let you into a secret, Hollywood. We don't like you much either. We think you're vile, awful people. Now, why do we think you're vile, awful people? Well, because of stuff like this. Recently we had the BAFTA Awards in England. I think it was Sunday night. And who got an award? The last person in the world who should ever get an award, Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy gets this massive award, being inducted in the Fellowship of Filmmakers or something of the kind. No. That's bad. Okay. Kathleen Kennedy has failed. Kathleen Kennedy has failed quite breathtakingly, massively. Kathleen Kennedy has failed probably more publicly and more massively than anybody's ever failed in the history of failure. Oh my God. Like, what did she succeed? It's kind of like, it's breathtaking. So why do we dislike you, Hollywood? Because of stuff like this. Like, when you fail massively, you treat yourselves like you succeeded massively. Like, what should be cloaking you in shame and make you hiding in a corner, you then you treat as if is a massive victory. And it's just kind of a little bit gross, So, and it makes everything that you try and do much worse. It makes everything you want to do fail. Okay, so firstly, how did Kathleen Kennedy fail? Well, Disney paid, I think, $4.5 billion for Star Wars. It's not worth that now, is it? No, it's not. You thought, we could put out $1 billion movie a year, and you could have done had you not filled it with your own partisan politics and ideology, but rather try to make an entertaining product, and then just like reflect your inner sensibilities as a side note. But unfortunately, you used it as a vehicle for your like political insanity, and people went, yeah, not so much. I'm not so interested. She hired Ryan Johnson, who clearly she hired because she happens to agree with his politics, not because he had a pretty good idea for Star Wars, because he had no ideas for all the ideas he had that I think Kathleen Kennedy really liked, that she wanted it to be a very feminist, gender studies, movie. And it was. And it was a successful, just like a very feminist gender studies movie was, which was not successful at all. Well, it made a lot of money. I mean, can't deny that. But it also destroyed the Star Wars franchise. It made, Solo lost money. And I think we can call The Rise of Skywalker a Disney flop, Disney Star Wars flop at this point. It has was it not? It was the third sharpest drop off ever. It's lost 98% of its from its opening weekend to like 5 weeks later. It had the quickest drop off of like all time, or was like the number 3 lowest fastest drop off. It was fine. Whatever it wasn't bad. And quite frankly, the normies, they're done. They most of them didn't say, well, it's okay, and they didn't really bother seeing it. It should have been a $2 billion movie, and did it scrape $1 billion? I really don't know. I really can't remember. But that's what most people call failure. If you take something and it's worth a lot of money, and then when you play with it after a bit, it's not worth as much money, that's called a failure. When you divide your fandom and you alienate most of them, that's not called a failure. Like, okay, if you're lucky enough to develop a loyal audience for something that will take their money and they'll pay you to indulge in this thing that they love, and they stop doing it, because that's called a failure. And yet you call it a success. So anyway, she gets this award. I'm just looking it up now. And then a friend of mine sends me this article from Screen Rant saying that she used the winning of this award as a platform to say, yes, of course, we will have a woman directing a Star Wars movie. Gee, it's like, it really, why can't you just tattoo on your forehead, I have learned nothing from my many failures? Just put it there, because you have learned nothing from your many failures. Now, obviously, no one cares about a woman directing a Star Wars, and no one's opposed to that. No one goes, oh, wait a minute, these women are getting a bit too darn uppity. Okay, they've been able to vote for the last 100 years or so, but directing a Star Wars movie, no, father, I can't let them do that. No, nobody's saying that. No one's opposed to a woman directing a Star Wars movie. What they are opposed to is hiring somebody who is not going to be good at the job because they're a woman, or because they tick whatever diversity boxes that you happen to want to tick. Sometimes it works. You had Deborah Chow on The Mandalorian. She was pretty darn good. Her episodes are great. Sometimes it failed, like Bryce Dallas Howard on The Mandalorian, that episode is just such an aching sore thumb, and otherwise a really, really good piece of entertainment they put out. It's the only thing that's less like substandard in that whole run. And why was she hired? Because she happened to be in the right time, in the right place, with the right genitalia. So that was it. That was really it. Which I think probably mirrors Kathleen Kennedy's meteoric success. She happened to be in the right time, in the right place. She was essentially hired as an assistant, which is kind of like a gopher to get coffee, I think, And then she kind of just fell into place in Hollywood, and failed her way upwards. Yeah, actually, if you want to know a real insight into how Hollywood really works, how it actually really genuinely works, you've got to watch this movie called "The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened." It was a documentary about the aborted Superman movie from the 90s. It was supposed to be headed by Tim Burton. So the producer on that, whose name I don't recall, is a typical Hollywood producer, and he got his job for no reason whatsoever. He was Barbara Streisand's hairdresser. And he just, again, happened to be in the right time and the right place, and she brought him on as a producer for, I think, Prince of Tides or one of the movies. And from that, he got more work being a producer, and he has no clue what he's doing. It was so clear he has no clue what he's doing. He didn't like to read scripts. He had Kevin Smith, who wrote a script for Superman Lives, come and read the script to him as he laid on the couch, because he couldn't even read the freaking script. He made these edicts, he wants Superman to fight a giant spider in the last quarter, in the last reel, in the last act. And then, strangely enough, when that movie fell through, a few years later, he produced not Men in Black, Wild Wild West. It was kind of like which Wild Wild West essentially ended Will Smith's career. Will Smith was hot stuff until Wild Wild West, and after that, he was afterward, yeah, he was a has-been. Really, at that point, that was the moment That's the thing that moved him from one to the other. And that also ended with a giant spider attacking Will Smith and who was it? I can't remember. Kevin Kline, who clearly Will Smith and Kevin Kline clearly hated each other in that movie. But again, you see, sometimes you can get to be a really great producer who understands what they're doing. I think Kevin Feige, even though the MCU has I think ended, I think the wheels have come off it. Although I might go and see the Black Widow movie. I don't know. I tell you, the trailer I saw for the Disney Plus stuff looked actually pretty good. Kind of interested me. So, yeah, go figure. So, yeah, so sometimes you can be a really good producer and you know what you're doing. You have an understanding of the audience and the film and how it works. And sometimes you could be somebody who gets coffee or does somebody's hair. And you end up in this insanely powerful position and that you get control over these franchises that again mean so much to me and so much to you, I'm sure, and they just don't give a crap. And there's not that they don't give a crap. They just don't have the ability to do anything with it. And that really, Hollywood, is why we don't like you. All the disdain that you clearly have for us, and all the finger wagging and lecturing you do for us, we're really not interested in anything you've got to say because you are people who have not earned your position, and you certainly haven't earned your right to lecture us, especially on morality. Hollywood, the least moral place in the entire freaking universe, is not the place that should be lecturing anybody upon morality. My name is Vila Beckham, the Rabbi from Another Planet. If you enjoy this content, I ask you to subscribe. That makes my life really, really good. It really does. Every time I get a new subscriber, it's like somebody ringing a bell when an angel gets his wings. Like, I'm all excited. And if we've subscribed on, if you can consider hitting the like button, that very, very much helps me. Thank you so much. If there's anything you want me to talk about, just let me know in the comments. You put any comment, I will endeavor to reply to you. Thankfully, my channel is small enough that I'm still able to reply to everyone. So yeah, let's keep that going when I can. If you want me to talk about anything, just let me know. My name is Vila Beckham, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, subscribe. Have yourself a fantastic and a blessed day.